Beowulf, chapter 11. Out from the mass, from the foot of misty hills and bogs, bearing God's hatred, Grendel came, hoping to kill anyone he could trap on this trip to High Herod. He moved quickly through the cloudy night, up from his swampland, sliding silently toward that gold-shining hall he had visited her Trojans home before, knew the way, but never before nor after that night found Herod defended so firmly, his reception so harsh, he journeyed forever joyless, straight to the door, then snapped it open, tore its iron fasteners with a touch, and rushed angrily over the threshold. He strode quickly across the inlet floor, snarling and fierce. His eyes gleamed in the darkness, burned with a gruesome light. Then he stopped, seeing the hall crowded with sleeping warriors, stuffed with rows of young soldiers resting together. And his heart laughed. He released the scythe, intended to tear the life from those bodies. By morning, the monster's mind was hot with the thought of food, and the feast in his belly would soon know. But fate that night intended Grendel to gnaw the broken bones of his last human supper. Human eyes were watching his every steps, waiting to see his sweep hard claws. Grendel snatches at the first hit. He came to rip him apart, cut his body to bits with powerful jaws, drank the blood from his veins, and bolted him down, hands and feet, dead. And Grendel's great teeth came together, snapping life shut. Then he stepped to another, still body, clutched at Beowulf with his claws, grasped at a strong-hearted, wakeful sleeper, and was instantly seized himself. Claws bent back as Beowulf leaned up on one arm. That shepherd of evil, guardian of crime, knew at once that nowhere on earth had he met a man whose hands were harder. His mind was flooded with fear, but nothing could take his talents and himself from that tide. Hard grip, Grendel's one thought was to run from Beowulf, flee back to his marsh and hide there. This was a different Herod than the hall he had emptied, but his last follower remembered his final boast and, standing erect, stopped the monster's flight, fastened those claws in his fists till they cracked, clutched Grendel closer. The infamous killer fought for his freedom, wanting no flesh but retreat, desiring nothing but escape. His claws had been caught. He was that trip to Herod was a miserable journey for the writing monster. The high hall rang its roof bars swayed, and then shook with terror down. The idols, the battle sweat angry, and while Herod trembled wonderfully, built to withstand the blows, the struggling great bodies beating at its beautiful walls, shaped and fastened with iron inside. And now, artfully working, the building stood firm, its benches rattled fell to the floor, gold-covered bars grating, as Grendel and Beowulf battled across them. Trogar's wise men had fashioned Herod to stand forever. Only fire they had planned could settle what such skill had put together, swallow in hot flames, such splendor of ivory and iron and wood. Suddenly the sounds changed, the dance started in new terror, cowering in their best as the terrible screams of the Almighty's enemy sang. In the darkness, the horrible shrieks of pain and defeat, the tears torn out of Grendel's taut robe, held captive, caught in the arms of him who, of all the men on earth, was the strongest,